The J-Train podcast is brought to you by MyBookie. Listen, people, it is a huge time of year for college basketball. And if you're like me, you kind of see these games on the screen and you wish you cared. I wish I could be one of the fans of the team. I wish I was wearing the shirt and high-fiving virtually with a former alumnus, a former classmate. But now with MyBookie, you can kind of become the fan because you can find a team, find a night of the week, and put some money on the big game. That's the fun of putting a little wager on things, and MyBookie makes it easy. It's that time of year you start to feel a little crazy or maybe mad, and college basketball is being played in March. I hope you know what I'm saying because I can't legally say the name of the event. Yeah, well, listen. This is the weird part of gambling, but at the same time, MyBookie is just a great way to get into the games, have fun with some friends. All you guys, put down a 20 or something like that, and you get to have fun being like, oh, okay, now I'm a Creighton fan. Now I'm a huge Ohio State fan. Well, they kind of lost, so that's okay. Score big on the nonstop action with MyBookie's bracket contest. This is your chance to win $10,000 in cash prizes, and it's only $1 to enter. So that's the fun part about MyBookie. If you're there with friends being like, I got this team, you got that team, now you're cheering against your friend. Now you can be with your friend doing the MyBookie bracket contest, and it's a low wager, $1 to have some skin in the game. How? Select winners from 63 tournament games. It doesn't matter whether you're filling out multiple brackets, betting the national championship winner, or simply looking for player and game props. MyBookie has you covered. Sign up today at mybookie.ag and use promo code JTRAIN to secure a deposit bonus up to $1,000. That's promo code JTRAIN to claim your first deposit bonus. College basketball, NBA, NHL, no matter the sport, no matter the minute, from tip-off to buzzer, MyBookie puts the action in your hands and in-game live betting. Wow, that's fun. Bet anything, anytime, anywhere with MyBookie. MyBookie.ag, promo code JTRAIN. And welcome to the J-Train podcast. J-Train, Jared Freid, coming to you live from the quarantine cabin on the Lower East Side of Manhattan. We are here Mondays and Thursdays with your emails, your stories, your questions. I say it every episode. Let me say it again. Thank you. Thank you for listening. Thank you for telling a friend. Thank you for telling a coworker, a brother, a sister, a mama, a papa, anyone with ears. That is how the whole thing works. You tell a friend, a coworker, a brother, a sister, a mama, a papa. They tell a friend, a coworker, a brother, a sister, a mama, a papa. And you know what feels the best? Is when you make it your Instagram story. Ooh. Make it your Instagram story. Because I know how hard it is. I get it. I've been in your shoes. Hey, you should listen to the... Oh, no, I don't listen to... I'm not a podcast person. I pray to a different God. You don't have to do that. You are a person who likes this show. So make it your Instagram story. You don't have to deal with that feedback anymore. No, I don't do. This isn't for me. No. Make your Instagram story. I will rely on the nosiness of your friends, of the next door neighborness of your friends. That's what I rely on. I rely on the human spirit because I know the inside of all of us, the human spirit makes us look over the next person's fence. So that's all you got to do. Make it your Instagram story and go check out the special. Socially distanced, of course. It's on YouTube. If you haven't already, make it a night. Make it date night. Get the popcorn ready. Get a drink out. Have a glass of wine. Enjoy. And I'm doing live shows. If you're out there, jaredfreid.com, Charleston, South Carolina. Also Long Island. Come on out, jaredfreid.com. Very excited about today's guest. He is a OKP on the show, original key player. Great to have him back. Adam Ray, everybody. How are you, sir?
Come on. Feeling good. Feeling hot.
Hilarious comic. I'm so pumped to have you here. Across the country, we connect. It's good to have you. My proud brother.
Yeah, man, feeling good over here. Things are opening up in LA. As of yesterday, Rub and Tugs, Cheesecake Factories, and
Love it.
Curves, all 50%
Finally.
capacity. Yeah.
We're back to normal-ish. Finally.
Yeah.
We got our Curves open. We got our Cheesecake Factory. You can finally get your Snickerdoodle cheesecake slice that you get every day.
Oh, yeah, and bring it to the Tug and Rub. There is normal-ish. I wonder if that's, because Kenya Barris with the success of Blackish, and then I think they did what they did one right after that. There's a spinoff from that.
There's Blackish, and then I think I have to pay her, though, for saying the phrase new normal-ish. I think
Is that one they have, normal-ish?
I got to pay somebody.
Well,
for you.
And let's just, as members of the tribe, let's just, throw that question out. Why isn't there a Jewish-ish?
Jewish-ish. I like that.
The amount of people that have told me over the years, yeah, I'm Jewish. I've been to a couple of those barbizon, whatever you guys do, that Jew thing where you guys read from the book and then you dance and you put yourself in a chair and you go, yeah, trust your instincts. You were close the first time. It was better if you just tried to figure it out versus saying what you just said. But the one thing I always like when I first heard about cultural appropriation, I was like kind of winced at it. I was like, oh, it's a phrase that felt woke to me. And then I remembered like growing up, someone being like, yeah, I get it. I grew up with Jews and I would always hate that person. So I was like, I was on team. Then that was the moment where I was like, yeah, I hate that. I would hate it too if someone was walking around, assuming my whole thing just because they knew someone who knew someone. Yeah. The only two Jews growing up in my elementary school, myself and Eve Alexander. So stop.
Wow.
Put it together. Adam and Eve.
Wow. And did you guys get made fun of that way? Was that a joke or this wasn't a very highbrow crowd?
Oh, no.
That's a highbrow joke. That's a smart joke in high school.
Nobody put it together. It was just more. They focused more on the fact that I had bigger tits than she did. But I digress.
Listen, that's what men are into. So that's
dude. Some of the nicknames, by the way. I mean, penis and tits kid. Like you're like, dude, a little too on the nose. Yeah, I got both. Maybe you're jealous.
Penis and tits kid. Yeah. I mean, that's someone who didn't even try.
That's what I'm saying. You just got to get like, one kid called me Jello Jiggler, and I was like, yeah, that I respect.
Yeah, alliteration.
Like, yeah, and also like Jello was popular at the time. So
sure, they could do a Cosby voice. I get it.
Yeah. yeah. There's a lot of opportunities for some comedic slams. But
yeah, that guy's writing. That guy's sitting, putting pen to paper.
Thank you.
Penis and boobs. Like, dude, did you just name things?
By the way, penis and boobs, two beach cops that just never got to where they wanted to be in the early 80s. Ron Penis and Daryl Boobs. And
I want to be Daryl Boobs.
I'm Ron Penis.
Daryl Boobs is like a womanizer. Ron Penis is the straight lace.
Yeah, I'm the one that's like, I'm supposed to get across town in 45 minutes, but GPS is it's going to take us 50.
Oh, my God. My girlfriend just came in. She goes, I'm on a meeting, and you're just screaming, penis.
This is the clip we use to sell the show.
Yeah, this is it. This is it. So listen, for the people at home?
I'll tell you.
Oh, yeah. What's the theme song?
Oh, well, I mean, it's definitely like Beach Cop meets like Starsky and Hutch. Like it's that type of. Ron Penis and Daryl Boobs are just a couple of guys looking to solve crimes. I don't know. We'll work on the intro.
Listen, we got something cooking. I really do feel like we do. Yeah. You need something cooking. You need something cooked, and you need something in the freezer for later. That's really what you need. Right. That's
going to be my agent.
That's the most
manager since we just parted ways. Rest in peace. But he also always looked like he saw a dead body before we got on the phone. So go ahead, Jared.
Well, I think that's the most Jewish manager thing you could ever say. You gotta have something cooking. You got to have something that's been cooked, and you got to have something in the freezer for later. Because you always got to be nibbling. Adam, blah, you got to be nibbling.
Give the people something to chew on. And if it's not something they can chew now, something they can wrap up and put in the freezer, take it out and chew it later when the time permits.
Content, baby. That's how the content.
You need that freezer content. You need that stuff in the pot. You need that cooking content and that stuff that you just took out that you need to follow the recipe for. But hey, maybe sometimes you close the book and you put in a little bit too much salt, aka humor. You're like, all right.
You have a lot cooking. Okay, so I am eternally jealous. For those at home, Adam Ray is a big part of The Rock's new show about his life on NBC, and it's you're playing Vince McMahon. You have a personal relationship with The Rock, but you have an album out. Is that what you're here to talk about? Is that what we're talking about?
Yeah, I've got an album called I'll Take It From Here. It's an all crowd work album, and
So let me explain to the listeners, because this isn't like, we're not sitting here sipping coffee on WTF. This isn't really a comedy podcast. A lot of people, they came here for the Vice. We're going to get to it, jtrainpodcast@gmail.com. But we do this from now and again. Sometimes people come on, comics. Adam Ray is fantastically hilarious, and he has videos on his Instagram where you have a lot of crowd work videos up there, and they're always really good. It's a very fine line between, is he just talking to these people, or is he coming up with bits on the fly? You come up with bits on the fly.
Totally. Yeah, I got real. I've always, you want to be an extension of yourself on stage that you are off. And the way I chum it up with people in everyday life and in podcasting and wherever I am, I'm always curious and sometimes more so than others. But so getting on stage, I just got comfier and comfier with trusting myself to have a little silence, build a moment, gather more information on something so I could, whether it's using it in the moment then or calling back to it, I've gotten, decently aware and able to tie things together through an hour and change plus show, even if it happened 4 minutes in and I'm bringing it back at 44 minutes. And it just became this fun puzzle to put together. And I also and I've always liked in watching Geraldo and Patrice were some of the first guys that really blew me away as far as the balance between material and talking to the crowd and how they would use it for the show and also breaking the monotony of the show. I have never liked to watch somebody just do jokes straight from top to bottom. It's just not for me. So that's what I think so it's more fun for me to do. And the crowd work is a reward at a certain point because it's like, all right, cool. Like it's not taking a break. It's in most cases more challenging, but that's what I love about it. And that's what I love about performing is a live. Yeah. That's truly a chunk of the show where nobody knows what's going to happen. I don't have any canned responses to things for every moment. It's not mapped out the way that you have your jokes and you more or less trust how things are going to go.
But you also, in addition to that, you are incredible. Like, listen to the beginning of this podcast. We're talking about penis and boobs, the beach cops. Like, your mind goes towards the bit no matter. Yeah. And basically, you're steering a 14-wheeler truck where the brakes are out and you got to find a place to land the truck. And you got to find that sand hill to run it into that nobody in the crowd gets hurt. And that's the magic of crowd work because, like you're saying, you touch on someone there, you touch on someone there, you go to your material, you go back to the person that you went to before, you go to someone new, someone chimes in. Then at the end, you put a bow on it and it's like you bring the whole crowd together. That's a fun event where because people want a safe adventure. Yeah. And that's what you offer when you're doing crowd work with them is like, don't worry, I'm going to make this funny. I don't know how it's going to be funny, but I'm a professional. I'll make it happen.
And totally. And I do enjoy the challenge of getting holes dug and having to get out of them. And even on this clip I posted yesterday, this gal, there was a 3 girls. They were texting from the get-go. And I go, I'm going to give them a chance. I always try to kill it with kindness. And even The Rock, who posted a clip of my crowd work over the summer and we started talking about crowd work and he did a lot of it in the ring. And so that's why he had an appreciation for it and really go ahead.
But sorry to interrupt you, but The Rock to me is one of the best improvisers of all time. Like, not just like comedy or not. The Rock, if you go watch him doing mic work, when he's on the mic in the ring, the way he's interacting with a crowd of 15,000 people,
that's what I'm saying.
But like, go watch the videos. They're like, it gives me chills.
It's banana sandwich. Yeah, it was really cool to have him share his love for that art form, as he kindly refers to it as, and to know that he loved that as much as I love doing it on stage. He goes, that's my favorite part. He goes, and he goes, so I think he appreciates the fine line between crushing someone and being real personal and kind of leaving them, I just start crying, leaving him feeling like shit. He goes, what he said to me, which really resonated, because until somebody really said what it didn't register with me that I was actively doing this, which he goes, I love what you do, Adam. He goes, you don't try to make people feel bad about themselves. You hit them. He's like, and you got to hit people because we got to laugh at ourselves, and you got to fuck with people. He goes, and then you hug them. He goes, you hit them and then you hug them. And it made me think, I go, man, I do. That has always been something I've been trying to, implement, which is, if I give them chances, kill with kindness, keep the crowd on my side. So if I do have to lay down the hammer, it's justified. But also, I'm not wanting and there's one clip, this kid had a fucking really weird voice in Portland, and he sounded like this, and he was like, oh, the guy. And so I started busting his voice, and then I started complimenting his voice and trying to be like, what kind of jobs could we get? I was like, I got some connections. What kind of commercials could we get that voice to, whatever? And then that became a fun bit. And
now you're propping him up. You're saying you deserve money for this voice.
Totally.
And I saw a clip the other day that you posted where there was a drunk woman, and she basically says on her way out of the show, she goes, I'm leaving. I guess I won't be here to help you anymore. And insinuating that she is somehow making the show better, which she is not. No. The crowd immediately is like, oh, and it's like,
and there was a moment before she left where I was like, say something quick or the crowd's going to jump on that and Jerry Springer bullshit. And now there's even more pressure for you to come in hot with something that's not just like, fuck you then. And it was, she was part of three girls that were texting the whole time, and I avoided them for 15 minutes, and then I went in on them and just slammed them so hard that the crowd was going nuts. And I might post some of that stuff. And then finally they got up and they all left. And basically what they had said during the show was they were planning their friend's bachelorette party. And I go, cool, I'm just trying to live out my dreams. And that got like a big thing. And then it was like, don't you think there's probably a better time to be doing this? Like, am I background, whatever it was? And then they finally got up and left. And that's when that girl said that thing. And as I'm thinking of like three different things to say as she's leaving, I'm like, all right, I could rip her. I could whatever. I could do this. Before I can even get to it, some guy just goes, get her. And then I was like, and that's when I was like, sir, I'd love to assume you meant comedically, but your voice and the way you said that, and I wish I had, in hindsight.
Well, it shows
like, he was holding a pitchfork for sure, like
it shows that your comedic ability. Because instead, a bad comic would have been like, when it's had the pride thing, or maybe a younger comic would have gone, no, I gotta make sure they just wooed for her because she got me saying that the show's better because of her. And it's like, no, you didn't. You saw, and what people misunderstand about comics is we don't care about who we're getting as long as we're getting the laughs. Your phasers, immediately you heard that getter, and you're like, no, that's the funniest person to make fun of in the room. Not the person who got me, because she didn't really get you, but like the crowd, a bunch of idiots, just like you said, Jerry Springer, like no comic wants the reaction of, oh, we don't want that. We want laughs. You found where the oil would spring from, oil being laughs. And I watched that clip and I was like proud of it. Like I was like, this is how it's done. It's not, comedian ruins audience member. It's comedian finds a way to make a moment funny.
Yeah, you want to get the last word, you want to get the last laugh, and somebody did comment, they were like, oh, thank God that guy said that thing because you could tell you had nothing. And I was like, you know what, man? Dude, I don't know what I was going to say. I told you I had three options in my head, and guess what? I was going to have to choose one of them quickly, but I definitely also enjoyed letting that moment sit. You could see me.
Who said that to you?
Somebody just commented on the page with it,
Well, that guy's an asshole. That guy's the most insecure person because they couldn't be more wrong.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I was lucky. None of this is luck.
What's more fun, by the way, to scream at a woman on the way out and hope that and then the crowd's like also hopefully savvy enough to be like, all right, well, she's not even here to defend herself. So whatever you're saying, kind of whatever anyway.
Yeah, it's kind of shitty.
To address a cartoon of a human who sounds like he should be in fucking Yosemite Sam's entourage being like, get her, you know what I'm
exactly.
saying?
He's the Cobra Kai's best friend. Yeah. It's so, listen, I want everyone to go listen to Adam's album. And if you listen, we do this every time. I have to remind people.
Yes.
If you are subscribed to a music streaming service, you can find the album. You can buy the album on Apple and all those places, but you right now are paying a monthly to Spotify or Apple Music or whatever it might be, or Pandora, and you can go and listen to it. And that is that is everything a comic wants, is for you to enjoy their album. What is it called, Adam Ray?
It's called I'll Take It From Here. You can get it on all
I'll Take It From Here.
Yeah, and it's
anywhere.
All from Vegas, and it's about 10 shows. All I went through and carefully edited all these moments from the entire week of shows, and it's got a through line. There's callbacks there's an Uber driver there who got strung along by these 4 girls. There's a couple that fell asleep. There's an arranged marriage. There's a young white rapper named Carl. There's a drunk cowboy in a sleeveless leather vest. I mean, everything you want, and every track. There's like 37 tracks. They're all different. Some are a minute long, some are 4 minutes. And again, I put it together to where it's like that Uber guy, the Uber driver with the girls, pops in 2 or 3 times throughout the thing, and things get woven together. And it's a really fun, easy listen. And it's
what an amazing car ride album.
1,000%, dude. Everything's different too. So it's truly like, and some of them are starting off into bits, and then something happens, but it flows. You know what I'm saying?
And the cool part is with a comedy album, and listen, I have an album out there, and I've given this spiel to people for my podcast, just from saying, is you kind of get to drop into the room without having to be there. You can hear the glasses clinging. You can hear the audience.
Yeah, and that's key, because the audio, if you can't hear. You know, on the video, I posted some of the clips, and you still caption some of the things they're saying, but all the audio, people are saying things back at me and whatever. There was a couple twin sisters that were real obnoxious, that were fun to play with, but you can hear everybody well. So it's like there's no like, oh, what do you say? And you just have to wait and hope that I repeat it and articulate it so you can understand it. It's all clear and it's ready to.
So everyone go listen to Adam Ray's new album, all crowd work. It's called I'll Take It From Here, on any streaming service you use. Any place you listen to music, you can type in Adam Ray, and it's right there. You ready to do some emails?
Let's do it, baby.
jtrainpodcast@gmail.com, jtrainpodcast@gmail.com. Okay, so hi, Jared. I just started listening to J-Train, and I'm hooked. You showed up in my Instagram feed. I found your podcast from there. That's the way it works, people. I'm female, 38. My husband is 34. We've been together 10 years, married for 7 with 2 kids. Here's my question. He has a business Instagram account that features his work as a furniture designer. It doesn't reference myself or our kids, just his work. He's had it for several years. In October to December 2020, so October to December of this past fall, an ex-girlfriend, the woman who he was involved with and had broken up with before we met, began commenting on his posts. For example, on one table she exclaimed, "I'm obsessed with this design." On another, "This is beautiful." And on another, "This is super cool." I asked my husband about it, and he seemed genuinely surprised by her comments too. He said she hasn't reached out or approached him otherwise. According to him, they don't have any kind of relationship and haven't since we broke up with her many years ago. I know I'm insecure about this because his relationship with her was serious, and it only fell apart because she cheated. She's also gorgeous. I'd say I'm a solid 6.5, and she's a 9. She is 34 and appears happily married with 3 kids based on my Facebook snooping. So I'm curious, why does someone reach out like that out of the blue? It seems suspect to me because I wouldn't consider commenting on my ex's posts with that kind of frequency and enthusiasm. I started commenting on my husband's posts after that. I previously usually just liked them, and she stopped commenting. Am I overthinking this? Thanks for your help. So Adam Ray, what do you think of this situation?
First of all, can we shout out his furniture? What is it? A website, a store?
Listen, we don't. We keep these as anonymous as we can. I think she gave us all the good particulars.
Yeah. So, this is I guess the thirst trap he's putting out there. And
so you think he's putting out a thirst trap?
No, I'm unwillingly. I think if she says he seemed genuinely surprised at the comments, that look, I give benefit of the doubt, trust that initial that he probably wasn't engaging in some chat. She, just like the way a guy can post without reaching out first, like she was probably doing that, and maybe having a lonely day and was like, these tables are great. Like, remember that time we were on the table, whatever she was using to parlay it into some memories. But I think, no, man, like everybody gets a little jealous. I think, that I would probably not want my girl to go in and do that type of thing. But then if you're saying don't do it, then you got to handle it. But then it's also like, well, that's maybe a weird
But there was nothing even to handle in the first place.
Yeah.
I'm with you. So I would say, let me start with this. She says, am I completely overthinking this? No. I think you're thinking this. I think you're totally within your rights to be like, why the hell would an ex comment on my husband's furniture pictures?
Why now?
All of a sudden, why now? Why? And so I think we have to be the ones, and a lot of people out there, it's somewhat vulnerable to admit that she's not overthinking this, because there's someone in your life that would go, whoa, so it's just an ex. She's just commenting on the furniture. No. The internet gives people the ability of blissful naivete. We see this all the time.
Yeah.
Where the guy that likes a bunch of your pictures in a row. This woman, big exclamation points, commenting. A lot of people are putting themselves out there in ways they can defend and say they weren't putting themselves out there. So the idea of this woman with 3 kids and married, she's having a thing. She's thinking, oh, okay. Like I don't think it's crazy to think that she's in her life, she's looking for a little excitement. She goes to a place where a guy who's thought she was beautiful in the past, and she's seeing if he'll eat the trap she's laying out. That is a very big possibility, don't you think?
At the bare min, maybe she was hoping that he would like one of her comments or message back. But then, yeah, if there's cause for concern, if he was commenting back, publicly, which I guess he wasn't doing, then that would have alluded to some dangerous behavior, the messaging back and forth. Unless, I mean, what if the gal who's reaching out about this, if she found out that they were messaging back and forth, but it was all platonic about furniture, how would you feel about that if she called out and got upset about that?
I would agree with her. If the messages, that's the thing. It starts at this. It starts at, these are fantastic, to, hey, how you been? So if the guy messaged her, hey, how you been? I go, he's looking for excitement. The problem is excitement is on these types of things are on a spectrum. Yeah. What you get out of an Instagram DM with an ex might be all you want. This woman might just get excited at commenting and seeing if he'll comment back or like it.
Yeah.
The problem she has is exactly what you said in the beginning is you have to take him at his word. He's like, oh, it's kind of surprising to me too, but it's a public business account. I'm not going to block her because I really don't really feel any need. I feel nothing from this. I just think it's as weird as you do. So you kind of have to, when she says I'm a 6.5 and she's a 9, no. That's by your standards. Your husband is with you. Yeah. You are your husband's foot. Your husband is into that. So
yeah. It also goes to speak to everyone's level of comfort with connecting with an ex. I've had some texts where it's just like, oh, congrats on this, or I saw that, or I just thought of this the other day. Cool, and it's usually a one and done. And
one and done.
Maybe one ex. The other ones, tried to even reach out to that. Bring your husband to the show. I'm in town and blah, blah, blah. And no strings attached. Just come see a free comedy show. And I know you got kids and a couple of them look pretty awful. I've seen pictures on the internet. So I'm sure you would enjoy an escape. And like, I feel like I escaped now that we're talking about it from that situation. Now seeing the kids you made. I'm rambling. But the point is, come on out to the show, take a break, bring your new husband. He's definitely not gay, but bring him out and like you guys will, hang out. I'll give you good seats. I won't roast you, unless he says something crazy, which, he looks like the type of guy to have a couple too many and fire off some anti-Semitic slurs, but that's his journey, so I'm here for that. And let's make the best of it. Like that, I don't even get responses from those people. But it's like with even COVID handshakes, like everyone's, you're like, you want me to rub your elbow or suck your fist? Like, what's your level? So with the X thing, does his gal not even want him to engage at all? Or is it truly, and the gram makes it all messier than it needs to be, right?
Yeah. So I think she has to let him know, hey, and she already has. She commented and she says she like scurried away. She hasn't commented since she commented. And I think like the thing to your husband, you go, I trust you. I think that's like a better way to go. Like where you go, I trust you, because listen, at this point, if it evolves into something, there's nothing you can do. Like there's legitimately, and again, the big advice is don't ever think you're overthinking these things. Air them out. Hey, that's weird. See how they react to you. If your husband goes, it's weird to me too. I saw that. It's fucking weird. That's all you kind of need at this point. That's what you have to hear. The J Train podcast is brought to you by Brooklinen. Whether you're an early bird or like to hit the snooze button, everyone deserves to sleep in ultimate comfort. And that starts with your comforter. Brooklinen can help you get your best sleep. I got to say, I love Brooklinen. I love everything they do. Their sheets are amazing. And I've always said this, I think there's nothing like a good refresh right now. Spring is springing. It's a new time of year. We're about to head out of this kind of global pandemic. I can feel it coming. Wouldn't you want some new sheets to sleep in? Put them in the wash, bring them out. It's like having your own little spa day. And there's a reason Brooklinen has over 75,000 five-star reviews and counting. I knew Brooklinen was popular the minute my mom was asking about them. Their mom approved. And for any of you out there, that's important. Your mom going, hey, does Brooklinen sponsor the podcast? I'm like, yeah. She's like, oh my God. Brooklinen literally legitimized this podcast for my mom. Brooklinen creates beautiful, high quality bedding and home essentials. Their comforters come in lightweight, all season, and ultra warm to suit every type of sleeper and lifestyle. That's huge. Because you might be out there being like, all these comforters are too heavy for the type of sleeping I do. Well, Brooklinen has you covered. There's even a weighted comforter option for stress relief. They work directly with manufacturers to give you a fair price, no middlemen, no markups. They also offer a variety of materials, including an eco-friendly recycled down alternative. And Brooklinen's comforters pair perfectly with their sheets, pillows, and duvet covers. People, this is awesome because we're going to give you some free money. Treat yourself to ultimate comfort with Brooklinen's comforter collection. Go to brooklinen.com. Use promo code JTRAIN25. That's JTRAIN25 to get $25 off with a minimum purchase of $100. That's BROOKLINEN.com. Enter promo code JTRAIN25 for $25 off with a minimum purchase of $100. That's brooklinen.com. Promo code JTRAIN25. The J Train podcast is brought to you by Features. Oh, please, people, you got to get these features. I mean, socks are just one of those things that we kind of put aside, and we don't think of them as part of our happiness. And they are. You have an old pair of socks that you kind of just get through. They're at the end of the rotation, and I get it. And you put them off, you put them to the corner, and then that one day comes up that you have to wear them because everything else is in the wash. Well, let's take this moment to toss those aside and invest in some Features. To perform at your best, you need to feel your best from head to toe. Features has solely focused on making the best high-performance socks for the last 20 years. 20 years. Their socks have a custom-like fit that conforms to the unique shape of your foot. See that? That's different than the dead socks you're having in the top drawer. And it prevents issues you have with conventional socks. No more bunching, slipping, or blisters. Listen, I have the Features. The best part about them is they come in every type. They got the low rise, the high rise, all the different types. I have the high ones that don't slip down because I like wearing them with my high tops. And they protect you. Especially with new high top sneakers, because those rub the back of your foot. Nah, I got my Features now. Features' mission is to create products that help you achieve your personal best. Features are engineered to help you achieve your best every day, whether you're working out or on the go. Targeted compression acts like a hug around the arch of your foot. I'll attest to that. The anatomical design conforms to the left-right shape of the foot, creating a custom-like fit that keeps the sock in place so you can focus on your workout. And the best part is this is a family-owned business that's been passed down from fathers to son. Plus, get a lifetime guarantee. Features are so durable, long-lasting, that if you're unsatisfied at any point, they'll give you a replacement pair, no questions asked. I'm telling you this, that dead pair in the back corner of your top drawer ain't coming with a lifetime warranty. You can't send those back. Those are going in the garbage. So replace them with Features. See why Features has quickly become the #1 running sock in America. So for listeners of the J-Train podcast, you can receive $10 off your first pair of Features by going to Features.com. Use my code JTRAIN, JTRAIN, JTRAIN. That's $10 off your first pair when you go to FEETURES.com. Enter code JTRAIN at checkout. Again, that's Features.com. Use my code JTRAIN to get $10 off your first pair at Features. JTRAINpodcast@gmail.com. JTRAINpodcast@gmail.com. Here with Adam Ray. At Adam Ray on Instagram. I'll take it from here. That's the album. Go. Get involved. Mid-divorce casual sex. Jared, longtime listener. Love everything you do. Started listening back in the TFM days when I was in college, through dating post-college, then to being married, and thinking, thank God I don't have to deal with this shit anymore. Well, now I'm going through a divorce, need your guidance. So we've been through a spin around the globe with this person.
Wow.
I'm pretty early on in the divorce process, and I am the one who filed. Yet I spent about 6 months knowing that this is how things would likely end and grappling with that reality. Like you always say, the one initiating the breakup has been mourning the loss of the relationship for a while before the breakup actually happens. I do say that. I say that, usually the person who ends it has been ending it for 2 weeks at a minimum. And the person, who gets ended with, they have to kind of like deal with it after the person has dealt with it. So you're on two different emotional tracks is really what I'm saying there. I'm certainly not ready or wanting anything serious, but I do want to get back out there casually and sexually. However, I'm worried about how I'll feel/react afterwards the first time I do have sex with someone new, even though it's what I want. I've talked to guy friends about this, but one in particular made a remark along the lines that he wants me to have a random fling first so that I don't catch feelings after having sex with him. Any advice for how to get back out there and still feel comfortable? That's a little bizarre.
It's a little bizarre. Who's this guy who said basically fuck someone else before you fuck me? Because I don't want you.
So I guess she was saying, I'm worried about how I react after the first time I have sex with someone new, even though that's what I want. And then she says, I've talked to the guy friends about this, but one in particular made a remark along the lines of that he wants me to have a random fling first so that I don't catch feelings after having sex with him. So it seems like her remedy to how she's going to feel about having sex with casual people is to have sex with someone she knows first before entering that world. This feels like a mess, I would say.
Yeah, look, divorce is my mom, when she started dating, right? My dad, they had the one who, I guess, well, my mom finally ended it when she found out my dad had some a kid with the gal that was like new family, new family who dis. So she took a beat before dating, and look, just even hearing this gal being like, I'm fucking divorced, I'm ready to fucking sexually, like, let's take things up from 6 to 12. I start hearkening back to early 90s. My mom, I'm like, I only saw a couple guys during the whole thing. That doesn't mean she wasn't at their place. Now I'm having some fucking PTSD. Thanks for bringing it up. But I think that there's no rule book for it, man. You have to go at the speed that you're comfortable with. So jumping right back in, you don't want to jump in the deep end without any snorkeling fins on, but you also don't want to just jump right into, the first guy you meet and he buys you dinner and drinks, and then you're going to 69. Like, you have to set some sort of, standards and guidelines. But I don't know, if she meets a guy right away, I never think it's a good idea to shut yourself off from being fully there. So it's like she might meet the first guy right out of the gate and be like, this guy rules. Let's go bang it out. And then if it doesn't turn into anything, all right. I mean, and that's
she's being dishonest with herself.
Yeah.
I think, she writes something very specific. I'm worried about how I'll feel/react to the first time I do have sex with someone new. Even though it's what I want. You don't know that's what you want.
And you're getting ahead of yourself. You're putting up a roadblock before it's even there. It's never a good idea to try to assume how you're going to feel or like something. I mean, look, there are times when you're like, oh, I know that if I don't go to my friend's birthday party, I'm going to feel bad about it. But do you want to go? Like, no, I don't know.
But then she's consulting with a friend who's like, well, before you fuck me, you better fuck someone else. That's not a friend.
Who's that guy?
That guy is looking to make sure that he's okay. A friend wouldn't look at you with going, yeah, I just don't know about casual sex, and be like, well, if you're going to fuck me, you better fuck someone else first because I don't want to have to deal with that shit. That's not a friend. That's someone who's flirting with you and wants to have sex with you without any repercussions whatsoever.
Yeah. Is it even reciprocated? Does she even acknowledge that he's on the table or like one of the potential suitors? I love that this guy's just like, hey, by the way, I know we're gonna fuck at some point. Like come on, it's inevitable.
But if she's being cagey with us in an email where she has no reason to be cagey, then I can't imagine how she's being with this friend who's not a friend, who might be a friend, who says let's fuck, but then says you're gonna get too attached. Like, she needs to readjust her relationships in her life, and I think it starts with friends and family, and that's a really hokey way of saying. You need, and when I would say if you get out of a divorce or you have a breakup, you got to readjust the levels in your feeling zone.
Yeah.
You don't know what makes you feel whole because you've been in a relationship that didn't make you feel whole. So your friendships, the things that you don't, and this guy is not your friend. The friendships where nobody owes anybody anything. The ones where you don't worry about who texts who first. The ones where you don't worry about double texting. The ones where you go, you know exactly who they are and what they are to you. The family members. Get those relationships. Deal with those. Because then when you do meet people out, you're going to go, oh, this feels like someone I know. This feels like a family member. I do want to get physical with them because I will feel good about it because there's someone I feel like I could trust because they feel like family. And the idea of like wanting to have casual sex, just to have casual sex, that's not what it's all about. Casual sex can happen on your way to the right person. It doesn't have to be this one or the other thing. Don't you think?
Yeah. How many, just the way the owl used to, hypothesize how many licks to take to get to the center of a Tootsie Pop. How many times you got to bang it out post-divorce before you feel like you're ready to fall in love again? And I think that's what the owl meant by that was actually the original script. He was like, how many times do you have to fuck a stranger to realize you're back ready to jump back into they go, cut. Hey man, just do the script, do the thing about the Tootsie Pop, the center of it. But I've got a message. We'll get a rabbit to do this.
Get that dildo out of your hand. We're gonna switch in a lollipop for the dildo. So you're gonna lick the lolly,
like this. But where can I put it?
Yeah, I'll take we have an intern. Give it to the intern.
Is that who that young boy was? Caleb was his name?
Give Caleb the dildo. He's gonna give you a Tootsie Pop.
You might as well take it. It's tough. I won't stop eating it until you take it.
I think she's like going by this weird old thing of like, you got to get under someone to get over someone. It's like, nah, that's not going to help you. Right now, you're making more messes that you didn't need.
There it is.
JTrainPodcast@gmail.com. JTrainPodcast@gmail.com. Male perspective needed.
Great. Here we go.
We got two men.
I love these ones.
Okay.
They mean it. You know what I'm saying?
This is they
People
need
don't ask for our perspective a lot. Let's be honest.
Not a lot. We give it, but they don't really ask for it.
Okay. Ask the amount of fights I've been in where it's like, everything's poured out and then there's silence, and I'm like, I try to fix it because that's always been my move. Peer mediated between my sister and mom when they fought just at the throats, starting at 8 years old. So now every relationship I'm always trying to fix and solve and be at the rescue and all that. And come to find, I don't need you to do that. I just need you to listen. Totally.
Yeah, no.
Then when I don't say anything, you're like, so you don't
We're
care?
fixers. We like to win the levels. We want to beat the video game.
It's a Jewish
Jared,
mom. Yeah.
huge fan. Love Socially Distanced, of course. Rated, reviewed, subscribed. Oh, hope you can come through. Okay. I've been dating my coworker for 2 months. Context. He's 37. I'm 30. We've known each other 8 years, but we're both in relationships, and finally the timing is right. Things are going really well. Honest and easy communication, sense of humor, aligned values, goals, genuine respect and appreciation for the other person, etc. The only area where things are off is in the bedroom. There's definite chemistry and things get heated, but he struggles to maintain an erection. Here's his wild story. Last year, he ended things with this girl. She then told him that she was pregnant. He says he felt obligated to stay with her and believed he was going to have to support her. After 2 months of that, he learned that she lied and was never pregnant and was actually trying to get herself pregnant by forcing herself on him and having unprotected sex throughout those 2 months. He says now his erection is associated with that. He's in therapy, but is still struggling because I'm the first person he's been with since then. I've expressed patience and understanding and tried a simple "what can I do for you" in bed, but he insists it's all in his head and it's not me. I mean, this.
Wow.
That I can. Listen. We take this story at face value, how it's being told to us. I can believe that the erection would be in trouble. This is like in Avengers when Hulk gets beaten by Thanos and he can't become Hulk anymore.
Yeah, it's exactly what it is.
Right?
Yeah. Yep. I don't see why.
She writes, I want to be supportive and help him get out of his head without feeling like I'm pressuring him, but I'm not sure how. From the male perspective, is the psychological connection really that strong, and is it something you can never recover from? How common is this? Is there anything I should absolutely not say to the guy in this situation? I'm starting to worry it's going to become a complacent pattern because of all the other aspects. Because all the other aspects are great, but let's be real: a relationship without sex is not sustainable. I'm way too embarrassed to talk to my friends about this. In fact, I even told some we slept together just because it was easier than explaining all this. I really do think we have a future together, and I feel like this kind of stuff should stay private. It's been hard. Lying to my coworkers, friends who ask me how things are, but I especially feel an allegiance to his privacy for that from them. Yeah, I would hope so. This is really stressful, so I hope that you can provide some insight. I'm sure other listeners may have experienced something similar. This could help them in this conversation too. Thank you for considering. Okay, what do we think?
Look, man, as someone who, the times when getting fully prepped gets in the way, booze, too much booze, too much booze and weed. Hey, guess what? That's fucking. There's a shelf life of when you got to get to me if those things get combined. And then if my dog is too close touching me at all during what's going on.
That doesn't get you hard. That softens you up.
I wish it did. Because,
a whimpering dog.
Or even the dog rub it like, it's a cute little Pickles or 10-pound Cavapoo. She's on the bed. She's now gotten to a place where she can kind of respectfully find a corner.
Sure.
Kind of live and not even watch, which at first you're like, thank God. And then after a while, you're like, all right, now it's just kind of disrespectful. Like, at least turn back every now and then just for entertainment purposes. But so any sort of rub touch takes me out for not done, but just takes me out of it. So
I'm with you.
I'm understanding the things that can arise, and I think everyone probably has them that are personal to them. But I don't know, the PTSD from that seems like a lot. But I mean,
listen, we had a urologist on the U Up podcast, and he said that this is mental. He's like, the first thing I talk about is people's mental state. And he goes, usually all this erectile dysfunction stuff has to do with a brain-penis connection. So
brain and penis are so intertwined.
I mean, this story that I just read to you about the fake pregnancy, my penis literally went whoop, 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 and ran inside of myself. Just hearing the story sent me into a little bit of a shock. So having been a part of that, I can totally understand. And I don't know if she can do anything different than she's doing. And honestly, I would give it give it some time, because this is one of those things that's like, and talk about it. Be there to talk about it with him. Like, be there to be like, hey, I'm here to talk about it. Tickle his balls a little bit. Maybe like, do the thing. The hardest thing to do is like maybe play with the soft penis. Maybe that's to show how comfortable you are when it's in its, not hard state. Like do a ball tickle a little bit. Maybe graze the inside of the leg. Like let's work towards that. Understand that he is now at the base of the mountain and he has to be built back up, right?
Yeah. Yeah, there might be some extra, OT you have to put in to try to get things back to square one. If it's not going to just be, all hands on deck right away, then, you got to talk to the rest of the staff and see what gets them going, But only
do that if you're really into this, because it's going to be a little bit of a road. But I would also say, I would warn her that, listen, things are going well. I don't mean to like scare her, but like things are going well now, but like, you have to assume that part of the reason he's come to you as someone to like date is because there's safety in you.
Yeah.
And so that's something to go, okay, like, listen, I understand there's safety in me, but he is going to therapy. So he is working on it. Like, it's not like he's just doing this with you to get through it. He is trying to get through it on his own, So I think just being there for him is really all you can do. And maybe maybe sex might be too early right now.
Yeah. I do think, though, there's something to be said about her saying, what is a relationship without a healthy sex life? So
totally.
She says it. She believes it. It obviously is more important for some people than others and continues to be as you get older or not. So if she's saying that right away, that to me gives me a little indication that she's kind of made her mind up about where the future of it lies. Because if it's something that's just going to be an issue, it's like, yeah, you weigh the pros and cons. You're like, oh man, all these other things are great, but then there's this. Well, I can live with that. Well, you just kind of said you can't. So I don't know. Maybe, I'm all for giving things time and trying to let it find its.
It can't be it can't be forever, but I think it's been 2 months. You're the first woman he's been with. Let's give it another.
Maybe just sit down, hold up some pictures, like little flashcards, like little boner flashcards, and just be like, what does that do? And have them all be pictures of her.
Well, this could be a fun thing where you start doing maybe you start with kind of high school hookups. You're just making out in the back of a car. Like, let's start from the beginning. Let's Daniel-san this. Let's wax on, wax off. You can be his Miyagi.
Dude, role play. Get a, I don't think that's
a gi
style yet. Yeah, get a gi.
Yeah.
Get a sensei. I just heard from a buddy that his friend was banging a sensei and she was quoting the sensei. And I was like, that to me is a red flag in a friendship or a relationship. But yeah, start small. Movie theaters are open at 25% capacity. Mask it up. You don't have to kiss. Go old school. They didn't even kiss until the 60s.
Over the pants hand job, OTPHJ. Let's do it. JTrainPodcast@gmail.com.
All they did on Saved by the Bell.
The J-Train Podcast is brought to you by ZipRecruiter. Are you hiring for spring? What type of roles are you hiring for? Maybe you need to hire someone to wear many hats, which can be challenging. Or you might have a simple position to fill, but it's taking ever to find someone who's a great fit for your company. That's where ZipRecruiter comes in. ZipRecruiter can help you find quality candidates fast, and now you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/JTrain. Whether you need to hire a civil engineer in New York, a pediatric nurse in Nebraska, an attorney in Colorado, or even a mascot in Missouri, ZipRecruiter's matchmaking technology finds people with the right experience for your job and actively invites them to apply. It's so effective that 4 to 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. The first day, if you're in a position of hiring, if you're looking for someone to join your company, that tells you everything. There's people there looking for work so you can find the right person. From accountant to zoologist and everything in between, ZipRecruiter makes hiring easier. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/JTrain. That's ZipRecruiter.com/JTrain. JTRAIN. All you need is Wi-Fi to try it for free. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/JTrain. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. J-Train Podcast @gmail.com here with Adam Ray. Go check out the album. I'll take it from here at Adam Ray on Instagram. We're going to do one more email. Is that okay?
Love it.
Okay, I sent you an email. I emailed it to you. Check your email. It's called How to Handle a Not on the First Date Guy, and it's with screenshots, okay?
Yikes. How to handle a not on the first date guy. All right, here we go.
Okay. Hi, Jared. I'll read it, and then we'll go into role play.
Okay.
Hi, Jared. Love the pod. You helped me get over my divorce and find a great new boyfriend. In that time, I have somehow become the sage dating app guru to my friends, which is sad, LOL, and I have some screenshots I'd like your take on. Well, let's send your friends to the podcast. We'd like them involved. We don't want third party. Third party means you could tell these people. We don't have to repeat the things you hear here. They can get it straight from the horse's mouth. She writes, my friend just matched with a guy on an app and he kind of asked her on a date. Then he said he doesn't kiss on the first date. We both don't like that kind of rule, but is it a deal breaker? She's a very upfront person and can be very sexual and kind of quote unquote aggressive or forward. So she was worried this guy wouldn't be able to handle her if he was has that kind of rule. What do you think of their conversation and his bringing up quote unquote, not on the first date, a second time? I bow to the master. Yeah, one who is far down the list of people her friends should be asked for advice. Yeah, give her the podcast. Okay. So I'll be him. I'll be her. You be him. Okay. So this is them. They matched on a dating app, and this is at the end of the conversation.
We're improvising or reading these texts?
We're reading these texts. I'll be her. She's purple. He's gray. Okay, ready?
Right. And this is they've already established. He's already said twice on the date, no kissing.
No, we're getting into that. This is the conversation. Ready? So that could be fun. I can't even remember the last time I've just casually hung out in a bar. Frowny face.
Totally. I was at Birds in Franklin Village exactly 1 year ago today. Found out Tom Hanks got Rona.
I assume that's a bar? Ha ha. I don't know places. I heard some indoor dining might be opening up next week.
Let's go. I'm vaccinated.
I am as well.
It's a date.
And then he wrote,
FYI, before you go, FYI, I don't kiss on the first date. Sorry. Smiley face with the angel halo emoji.
Okay, that was sent at 6:41. 10 minutes later, she writes back, I don't either. Suck a dick? Sure, maybe. It's cute. But never a kiss. Way too intimate. And then she puts in parentheses, this is a joke. I'm not a slut. LOL.
By the way, great joke. And the way she should have responded. Keep going.
She writes, if it's. What is it? Where would the if it's go? Okay.
If it's. Where would the if it's go? I don't either. Suck a dick.
I don't even know.
Maybe if it's cute.
Oh, I don't either. Suck a dick? Sure. Maybe if it's cute. Okay, she didn't have to correct herself.
Maybe if his dick is cute. Never heard that being the deal breaker for a blowjob.
Whoa. I've never heard the you forgot the if. I can't get a blowjob from you. I don't know. You didn't correct yourself. Okay, what did she write?
So that is what she meant. If it's cute, if your wiener's cute, because then he comes back with, oh, it's pretty cute. And then
that's fun.
That's fun. Great.
That's fun.
Cool. Now here's what you don't do. What you did, which is double down on. But again, just to be clear, not on the first date. And I'm sending that same halo emoji. So not only am I using the same line, same emoji, and it's right after a joke that seemingly let her think, oh, cool, I can dig with this rule because there was some fun banter that followed. But now you pull the rug out from under all of it.
Yeah, here's the problem with the first time he says, but on the first date, I took it as a flirt. And it actually was fun and flirty where he's actually bringing up kissing. Like, let's go. I'm vaccinated. I am as well. It's a date. FYI, I don't kiss on the first date. Sorry. Like, I saw that as like.
No, that's not, I don't know. I completely disagree.
How so?
You think that was him? I don't know. How so? He just said it again.
No, the second time he said it.
So the second time, all right, message is clear. But the first time.
Okay, I guess you don't kiss. Like to me,
I think it's a weird thing to joke about because it's like, I don't know. That's such a.
It's very shoehorned in. It feels like it's something he says to people that's supposed to be flirty to get kissing on their mind.
And maybe, by the way, he's like the complete opposite. And he's like, actually, I expect anal. He's like, but I still don't kiss. He's like, but I can't say that. Not kissing is actually, that gets me on the date. And then hopefully things go well and we, get to third base real quick.
It's the worst type of flirt because it's like in the phylum of like negging someone because you're like, hey, if we're kissing, that's because you're the big kisser. So then this woman goes way over the top of him and is like, I don't either. Suck a dick? Sure, maybe if it's cute, but never a kiss. Way too intimate. So like, I like where her head's at because it's so like, if that were me getting the dick sucking joke, I'd be like, well, like you would see my legs spinning like wheels in the Flintstones. I'd be like, woo, 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 woo. I'd be like running to the date.
Yeah.
And he, you could tell, gets a little flustered because he goes, it's pretty cute because he plays the yes-anding improv game. But then he's like, but not on the first date. I got to get that joke in again because I don't know what to do now. She'll suck my dick. Like, I think he freaked out.
You're giving this guy a lot of slack, and I dig that about you. And I want to think that that's the case with him. But I'm not sold. I think the halo emoji is a weird choice. I also would love to see the rest of the conversation or prior. This is actually not enough for me to.
So do you think the halo emoji could be him saying, I'm a God guy, I'm actually religious?
1,000%.
Oh, see,
when
to
else
me,
because that's too much of a joke. Maybe sorry I don't kiss on the first date, winky face. Or like a kiss thing, or something.
You're right.
Something that's a little more jokey. If you know your joke is a bad joke, you got to go. And you're not a comic, and you're not and you're just bad. Hopefully he's got enough self-awareness to go, oh, the whole don't kiss on the first date thing that can be perceived as a real thing, and people are trying to be concerned about people's comfort level in 2021. So she might actually respect that.
You need an irony emoji.
Yeah, you need something to kind of soften the severity of that request. And
you're right.
And a halo, all it does is, perpetuate it for me. I'm like, oh, cool. This guy's maybe a Mormon. Like, didn't know those guys were still pumping around town.
Sure. I mean, I would say to this person, like, listen, like, where there's smoke, there's fire. This isn't the match. Like, if he can't keep up with the dick sucking joke on the app, where that is like kind of the dream for many swipers on these apps, like, then he's not really on the same wavelength as you. And yeah, the halo emoji kind of insinuates closer to God. Because I guess there's two ways to look at it. You either look at it as he's trying to be flirty and fun, and then it got out of his, it got away from him, or he's trying to send you a very specific message of like, hey, this is how I do first dates.
Yeah, which, I mean, guess what? Am I intrigued? Yeah. Do I want to see if this guy shows up in like full Presbyterian, or rabbinical attire? Yeah, I don't know. I just think he's not reading the room well. And
he's not reading you well. This doesn't have to be a personal assault on him. It can be, this isn't the match. You tried. I think it's like more normal to be like, hey, good luck, or just to leave this conversation than to keep going with it.
Totally.
Just because they're there.
I also never fully understand going out of your way again to put up roadblocks or assume stuff before you've done it. Like, if you don't want to kiss on the first date, cool. Is that something you really need to get out there in the open? Also, like, hey, like, by the way, I'm not ever going to kill you. Like, that's still, think that. You don't have to say that at text or even on the first date, because that's just a weird thing to bring up. Let it.
Yeah, go on the date. Let it happen.
Go on the date and don't kill her. Let that be how you let her know you're not going to kill her, So
people are so obsessed with not feeling uncomfortable at any time that they like get ahead of these things way too much. And that seems what he's doing.
That, and I respect that, and I get that. And so learn from this, buddy. And next time, if it's something that you perceive that might be a little bit getting ahead of yourself, leave it out there as once, and then fucking move on and trust that you'll work out the details live in the flesh.
JTrainPodcast@gmail.com. JTrainPodcast@gmail.com. Adam Ray, thank you so much for coming on. This was fantastic.
I love you, Jay. Thanks, player.
At Adam Ray, the album. I'll take it from here. It's on all platforms where you listen to music. Just search Adam Ray. Go to his Instagram, @Adam Ray. I'll take it from here. I'm Jared Freid. We're here every Monday and Thursday. We'll be back next episode. Boom.
Don't forget to like the video you just watched. I have many more. Subscribe to the channel right now. Like and subscribe, like and subscribe, like and subscribe, you fool. There's even a bell you can click to. Now you've got your week set Monday through Friday. I'm here for you.